Hey, it's a Humble Collector here, and in today's video we're going to take a look at the 2-pound death card of Alfons Christl. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. So starting from the top of the card here, we have a nice picture of Alfons, and then in the field of honor died a hero's death, Alfons Christl from Gebirgsjager, who was a pioneer in a Gebirgsjager Regiment, who was killed in action on April 11th, 1942, at the age of 19 and a half. Now, I was actually able to find Alfons' casualty record. I'll go ahead and put that up on the screen. Alfons was born on August 11th, 1922 in Gebirgsjager, and was a Jager in the 10th Company of Gebirgsjager Regiment 206, part of the 7th Gebirgs Division. Now, interestingly, just a few weeks ago, we did a card for another member of the 7th Gebirgs Division, Michael Petz. And so the research I did for that card kind of helped me out here. So the 7th Gebirgs Division was stationed in Lapland at this point. However, a contingent of the division made up of members of the 206th Gebirgsjager Regiment, the 218th Gebirgsjager Regiment, and the 82nd Gebirgs Artillery Regiment were split off of the division, and they were sent down to assist in the fighting on the northern part of the Eastern Front, and this unit was referred to as the Hofmeister Group. Now, the Hofmeister Group will be involved in the attempted breakout of the II Armee Korps at Demyansk. So the II Armee Korps had been encircled at Demyansk. German forces were trying desperately to free them, and the Soviets were putting up a very bitter defense to maintain that cauldron. Now, contact between the 2nd Army Corps and their liberators would be made on April 22nd, 1942. However, the fighting in the weeks leading up to that contact was brutal and bloody. While I was checking the dates for Alfons' death, I didn't see anything specifically noted in the unit history for the 7th Gebirgs Division that I have. However, I did note in the days leading up to Alfons' death, they were involved in such heavy fighting, it's noted that their unit had been reduced to company strengths of 10 or 12 men each. And that is severely reduced. I believe that the paper strength of a German infantry company should have been about 140 men at this point. So the fact that these companies have been reduced to 10 or 12 men means they had taken well over 90% casualties by this point. Now, that is assuming that they came into the battle with full strength, but still, it's a serious reduction from what they should have been on paper. And so, given the date of Alfons' death, he had lived through all this heavy fighting. You know, they were just 11 days away from making contact with the 2nd Army Corps in their encirclement. And he would be killed basically while his unit was being reorganized due to all these heavy casualties. So he survived all of that fighting and ended up being killed by an artillery shot to the head 3 kilometers west of Redzy. And we can actually see on the map here that Redzy is noted off to the right. Now, in my collection, I do currently have 2 other references to the 7th Gebirgsjager Division. Michael Petz, who was a Gefreiter in the 12th Company, also in the 206th Gebirgsjager Regiment. He would be killed by an artillery shot to the chest at Yazvi, Russia, on April 23rd, 1942, so just 12 days after Alfons would be killed. And in the Gustav Hoffmann Memorial Booklet, there is a reference to Anton Reiners, who is a Gefreiter in the 9th Company of Gebirgsjager Regiment 218, and he would be annihilated by artillery at Kiestingen, Finland on August 10th, 1943. So moving to the bottom part of the card here. During the hot battle in the enemy's country, you were hit by the death wound. Your loved ones in your homeland were hit hard by the bitter news. You died the heroic death for your fatherland, dearest. You courageously earned the reward of heaven with a brave hand. And moving to the back of the card here. Death of St. Joseph. Blessed are those who die in the Lord. So, a very interesting card. Luckily, the Gebirgs divisions are pretty well documented, so I am able to find a decent amount of information. And yeah, it's just kind of just coincidence. We looked at Michael Pett's card just a few weeks ago, and Alfons just happened to be next on my backlog of cards to research. I have noticed that sometimes is that, you know, I buy these cards from all over, and I have like a first in, first out policy with my death cards that I try to research the oldest ones that I bought first, and I kind of just go down through the list that way. So I have noticed, though, strangely, that there's a lot of times where if I research 5 cards in a day, sometimes 2 or 3 of them will be from the same division. So I don't know if that's an instance where I bought multiple cards from the same seller and they happen to get all of those cards from perhaps the same estate sale or the same flea market. And as a result, a lot of those were guys that had served together. You know, maybe they'd come from the same area originally. I'm not really sure, but it is kind of odd how these coincidences kind of keep popping up. But yeah, overall, I hope you guys all enjoy the video. Please leave a comment down below. Love hearing from you. Thank you all for watching. Happy collecting, and I will see you all again very soon.